What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show before the show, Hockey Night in Canada Punjabi's Facebook Live show. It is NIGHT PUNJABI joining you here, and I've got a special guest today. It's Corey Hirsch, former NHL goalie, broadcaster, coach, you name it, Corey, you've done it. Welcome to the Hockey Night in Canada Punjabi set.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm one of those guys, what's that saying, master of none? I can do everything, but master of none. So, but I do everything a little bit here, everything a little bit well.
Don't sell yourself short. Had a great 14-year pro career. We're going to get into that as well. But, you know, you're now a broadcaster with Sportsnet 650, of course, and after coaching the St. Louis Blues, being a goaltender coach. We're going to get into all of that, but I want to get started on, you had a long career in the NHL, but also in Europe. First question I love asking former NHL players. Who was the toughest player or the toughest shot you faced as a goalie?
Toughest shot I faced as a goalie? Probably Mario Lemieux. So Wayne Gretzky never scored on me. That's
really?
Yeah, so I only played against him twice, though, but Mario scored on me enough for everybody. And he would just put you in bad spots. Like, he would throw it at your feet from bad angles. Just so talented. And then when he did get a shot, I mean, he could absolutely rip it for what he was. I couldn't even imagine what kind of player he'd be in today's game without the clutching and the grabbing. He's probably, you know, I caught Gretzky at the tail end of his career. I caught Mario kind of right in his prime. Okay,
not many goalies can say that Wayne Gretzky never scored on them. This man can. So don't sell yourself short. Master of at least playing against Wayne Gretzky in your career.
Well, so. Yeah, I guess my first ever NHL win was against Wayne Gretzky in the LA Kings. So, but I don't think I can go up to say, Gretz, hey, I got one on you. No, I don't think that's going to work.
Well, hey, listen, I'd put that on my resume if I were you, but you're a much more humble guy than I am. As far as you know, what you're doing today, and you had, like I said, you had a great career. You played for the Kamloops Blazers. You eventually ended up going to the Vancouver Canucks, New York Rangers, Dallas Stars, a few of the stops. What was the best arena that you played in? What was the place that you just love playing in?
Yeah, you know what? There's this, no disrespect to Vancouver because my heart is here in Vancouver, but playing in Madison Square Garden was electric. You know, you think of all the acts that have been through there, the Elton John and you know, just so many great artists that had played there musically, and then the games that were played there. That building is just, it's absolutely electric. I tell everybody, put it on your bucket list. You have to go see an event there. I don't care if it's a hockey game, a basketball game, whatever. You have to get to Madison Square Garden. All
right, Madison Square Garden, the favorite place that Corey Hirsch played in his career. You ended up calling it quits as a playing career in 05-06, if I'm not mistaken. Beyond that, though, you switched to coaching, and you became a goalie coach. You also have the distinction of coaching one Jordan Binnington in St. Louis. How was that experience of going from player to automatically going into the coach's room and being that guy that has to give the orders?
Well, it's different. I didn't realize quite how ruthless it is in the coach's room. I always thought they were speaking highly of me, even if I played poorly. And no, they can get into it pretty good with the players. But I loved it. You know why? Because you go from it's all about you when you're a player. It's very self-centered. It's very selfish. It's about my pregame and how I got to play well and what I need to do. When you go into coaching, it becomes about somebody else. And it becomes about helping them to be the best that they can be. And it's just, there's a satisfaction in that and being able to help others when you step on the other side from being a player to being a coach.
Well, okay, and this is where you can take your credit for Jordan Binnington right now. How much of a role did you have in his success?
You can, you know what, the goalie coaches that take credit for guys, I have an issue with that because these guys do a lot. They got to do the work. I helped draft Jordan Binnington in St. Louis, and then I got to go up to Owen Sound. We did some tweaks to his game, and hopefully that helped him. But Jordan Binnington, I mean, this is a guy that went through the ringer in the minors. They were going to send him to the East Coast League. And it's amazing the perseverance that he's shown. Absolutely incredible, and he's earned every inch of it.
And he's turned into quite a goalie. So you've gone now from going from coaching to broadcasting at Sportsnet 650. You are the color analyst on those broadcasts. I am happy to call you a colleague at Sportsnet 650. How's that changed the way you look at the game now?
You know what? The way I view it is that as a player, I didn't mind if I was criticized for making a bad play, or you know, or being you know, praised for making a good play. So I view it as never malicious, but be honest. If a guy doesn't play well, you have to let him know that they didn't play well. The fans know they're not stupid. They know when a guy hasn't played well. So you have to be honest, but you also have to be fair and never malicious. And then when a guy does play well, you have to be the first guy to say, you know what, this guy is playing fantastic. And just that's probably the biggest thing I learned from going from coaching to being in media is that, be honest and be fair.
And listen, you do a great job at Sportsnet 650 as well. So if you're in Vancouver, if you have a chance to listen to those broadcasts, Corey and Brendan Batchelor do an excellent job. All right, let's talk about that team a little bit. The Vancouver Canucks, I for one did not think they'd be first in the Pacific. I think a lot of people didn't think that. Does this team, what makes them different from last year and gives them a chance to be a threat?
Yeah, you and I had even talked about this last summer, and the addition of JT Miller has helped a lot. But it's all been based around their goaltending. Their goaltending has been absolutely dynamite. If Jacob Markstrom doesn't get a Vezina nominee or even win if they make the playoffs, I'll be disappointed in the league for not picking him. But this guy, 49 saves on 49 shots against Chicago on Sedin retirement night. This guy has been everything as advertised, and he's maturing into a goalie. So to me, yes, there's been some good additions. Quinn Hughes on the back end. Now all of a sudden you have more possession of the puck, and you and I had talked even in the summer last year about their defense. Tanev getting hurt, Edler getting hurt. Well, they get hurt because they're always getting hit, and they never have possession of the puck. They're always having to block shots in their own end. Quinn Hughes, he's a guy that just calms the play down. He's got control of the puck, and now they're able to do more out of the defensive zone as well.
Well, you've been in that spot, in that hot seat as a starting goalie where, Markstrom, it took him a while to kind of get going. It wasn't until about the age 28 where he really became a number one option. What changes for a goalie?
Yeah, you know what? For him, it's all about maturity. The last few years, just from my understanding, is that he's always been a talent. He's always been very athletic, very talented. But maybe his game prep wasn't as good. Maybe his diet wasn't as good. And Ian Clark has come in, and he's kind of just helped him with that off-ice stuff, the preparation. The working out, the eating properly, the preparation for games, the mental prep that you have to do. That's where he's really matured. He's always had the athletic ability. We always knew that, and everybody was waiting for this, but nobody knew if he could put it together. And I think Ian Clark has done a nice job of helping him put it together. Well,
Corey, we've got one, Ottawa versus Toronto tonight. Brady Tkachuk's in that game, and you would have played against Keith Tkachuk. Do his sons, both of his sons, kind of remind you of the way he played? Any Keith Tkachuk stories?
Gritty, nasty. I don't really have any stories. I just remember him he'd be standing in front of you, and you couldn't move him, and he would stick you as a goalie, and then, little things he'd give you a whack on the back of the leg when the puck went back to the point and the ref wasn't looking. Just little things like that to try and throw you off your game. And man, could he score? Was he a talent? I'm a big fan of both of his kids. I think they're going to be great players. Matthew, I'd like to see him tone it down just a little bit.
It's a little controversial at times.
But I like how gritty he is. I can respect that. Yeah.
No, then listen, Keith Tkachuk taught both of his sons quite well, and they are elevating their game. Before we do get out of here, and our conversation it's not that long, but I wanted to make sure that we highlighted your work when it comes to mental health awareness. You've done an amazing job over the years highlighting issues that everybody goes through, every community. It doesn't matter what your background is. And when it comes to mental health awareness, not only in society, but in the hockey world, there's been some progress. But how much farther do we have to go?
Yeah, we still have a long way to go. A lot of it is, getting the proper treatment, the wait list that we have. But the first step is admitting that you have an issue or coming out and talking to somebody. The thing with mental health issues is that it truly does take a village because you can't see it, right? So we need someone to come forward and say, hey, I'm struggling, I need some help. And then we can get them the help that they need. We still have a long way to go. We're slowly getting there with the stigma. Tyler Mott came out with his story. But the biggest thing, mental health doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, lawyer, professional athlete, work in construction, it doesn't matter race, color, whatever. We all deal with mental health. And we're getting to the point where it's okay to not be okay. And that's what we need to let people know is that, reach out and get the help. It's okay to not be okay.
And how about if you're a family member or somebody that sees that somebody's going through something, but they aren't technically reaching out, but how can, as a friend or a family member, how can you you help out?
Great question. You can never force somebody to go get help. It is on their own. It's like someone that has an alcohol issue. You can't force them to go get help. It's going to have to be up to them. But the biggest thing is let them know that you're someone safe that they can talk to, that you're not going to judge them for their issues, you're not going to judge them for what they're thinking or what they're going through, and that you're a safe place. And then encourage therapy, encourage help, encourage them that, you know what, there is treatment available and there is a better life out there, and that you can have it as well.
Well, thank you very much for all your work that you've done on this and in the hockey world. And it's great to call you a friend and a colleague. Corey Hirsch, hit him up on Twitter at Corey Hirsch. And also, when it comes to tonight's broadcast, we've got the Battle of Ontario and Calgary versus Chicago. We'll catch you on Omni. Watch tonight. See you later.